The sun was setting softly over the city park, spilling golden light across the trees as leaves whispered their last songs of the season. The air smelled of autumn and coffee, the kind of mix that makes you stop and breathe a little slower. On one of the benches, a man sat alone. His suit was neatly pressed, his shoes shining, but his eyes carried the quiet fatigue of someone who had forgotten how to rest. His name was Daniel Cole, a successful businessman on paper, but a man who felt increasingly empty inside. He held his cup of coffee like it was the only warm thing left in his life. He didn't come to the park often. It wasn't his kind of place anymore. Life had become a list of deadlines, meetings, and half-hearted smiles. The sound of children playing used to make him smile, now it only reminded him of the family he never had. He had everything, except something to come home to. That evening, as Daniel sat in silence, he noticed a little girl, maybe 4, maybe 5 years old, standing a few feet away. She was wearing a blue dress with a white collar and pink shoes that didn't quite match. In her tiny hand, she held a small paper bag, clutched tightly like it held something precious. Her blonde hair glowed like gold in the sunset. She was looking right at him. "Hi," she said softly, her voice carrying a kind of innocence that felt too pure for the world. Daniel blinked, surprised. "Hello there," he replied, forcing a small smile. The girl tilted her head. "You look sad," she said simply, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. He chuckled nervously. "Do I?" She nodded, serious as a judge. "My mommy says when people look down like that, their hearts are heavy." Daniel didn't know what to say. He wasn't used to anyone, especially a child, noticing him that way. "Your mommy sounds very smart," he said. The little girl smiled proudly. "She is. But she's sick. She's at home resting. The doctors say she has to stay in bed for a long time." Something in Daniel's chest tightened. "I'm sorry to hear that." The girl shrugged in that innocent way children do when they don't fully understand the weight of their words. "It's okay. Mommy still smiles a lot. She says we should smile, even when it hurts. Because smiles make hearts lighter." Daniel looked at her, and for a moment, he couldn't breathe. Her words, simple, childlike, struck something deep inside him. "What's your name?" he asked quietly. "Lily," she said. "What's yours?" "Daniel." "Hi, Mr. Daniel," she said cheerfully. "Do you like birthday parties?" He hesitated. "I haven't been to one in a long time." "Well, you're invited to mine," she said with sudden excitement, holding out a small, wrinkled invitation card from her paper bag. "It's tomorrow at my house. Mommy made the cards before she got too tired. She said we should invite everyone who looks lonely, because lonely people need cake the most." Daniel laughed softly, though there was a lump in his throat. "Is that so?" "Uh-huh," Lily nodded seriously. "And Mommy said, if you come, she'll smile. Even if she's sick. She always smiles when kind people visit." He took the little paper card gently. It was decorated with crooked hearts and hand-drawn balloons. Crayon colors everywhere. "Thank you, Lily," he whispered. "You'll come, right?" she asked, looking up at him with those wide, hopeful eyes. Daniel looked at the sky. He thought of the emails waiting for him, the contracts needing signatures, the endless noise of his empty apartment. And then he looked back at this tiny stranger, this burst of life and light, and something inside him softened. "I'll try my best," he said. Lily's face brightened like a sunrise. "Yay," she clapped. "Mommy will be so happy. She'll smile again." She waved at him before running off toward the path that led out of the park. Daniel watched her go, holding the invitation in his hand. A small piece of paper that somehow weighed heavier than any deal he'd ever signed. That night, Daniel sat in his apartment, staring at the card on his kitchen table. The crayon colors looked brighter under the lamplight, messy but full of life. He hadn't been to a child's birthday in decades. He didn't even know the girl's address beyond what was written in shaky handwriting. He poured himself a glass of wine, but it tasted hollow. He tried to focus on work, but every time he looked at the screen, he saw her face, and those words echoing in his head. "Mommy's sick, but she'll still smile if you come to my party." Sleep didn't come easy that night. The next morning was quiet. Daniel woke early, put on a casual shirt, no suit, no tie, and left with the little invitation in his pocket. The address was in a small neighborhood on the edge of town, far from his usual world of skyscrapers and steel. The houses there were old but colorful, with small gardens and laughter in the air. When he found the house, there were balloons tied to the gate. Some were deflating, others barely floating, but it was enough to make him smile. He knocked gently. The door opened, and Lily's eyes lit up instantly. "You came," she squealed. "Mommy." Mr. Daniel came. A soft voice came from inside, warm but weak. "That's wonderful, sweetheart." Daniel stepped in, and his heart sank. The living room was decorated with paper chains and a handmade banner that read, "Happy Birthday, Lily." The walls were cheerful, but the air felt heavy, not with sadness, but with love fighting against time. On the couch lay a woman, pale, frail, yet beautiful in a way that radiated kindness. Her smile was tired but genuine. "You must be Daniel," she said softly. "Lily told me about you. Thank you for coming." He nodded, unsure what to say. "It's an honor to be here." Lily tugged his hand excitedly. "Come on. We're about to cut the cake." The cake was small and slightly uneven, but Lily's laughter made it the most perfect one he had ever seen. Daniel helped light the candles, and when Lily blew them out, she closed her eyes tightly and whispered something. Her mother smiled weakly. "What did you wish for, sweetheart?" Lily grinned. "That Mommy gets better. And that Mr. Daniel smiles more." Everyone laughed softly, but Daniel had to look away. His eyes were wet. As the party went on, Lily danced, sang, and played with her stuffed animals. Her mother watched from the couch, clapping gently. Daniel helped serve cake, clean up crumbs, and even joined a silly tea party at Lily's insistence. For the first time in years, he felt something real. Something he didn't even realize he'd lost, warmth. When the afternoon sun began to fade, Lily's mother called him over quietly. "Thank you," she said, her voice trembling. "You don't know what this means to her, or to me. It's been a long time since I saw her this happy." Daniel shook his head. "No, thank you for letting me be part of it." She smiled faintly. "You look like someone who's been carrying too much. Don't let life steal your softness, Daniel. Sometimes, strangers are sent to remind us what matters." Her words hit him harder than he expected. He promised he'd visit again soon. And he did. Many times. Weeks passed, and those visits became a part of his life. Lily's mother grew weaker, but her spirit never faded. She would always greet him with that same gentle smile, even when pain clouded her eyes. Then one day, Daniel arrived to find the house quieter than usual. Lily was sitting on the porch, holding her bag again, staring at the sky. He sat beside her silently. "She's sleeping," Lily said softly. "The doctors say she won't wake up again. But I know she's smiling. She always smiles." Daniel's eyes filled with tears he didn't bother hiding. He put his arm around her gently, and they sat there in silence, watching the leaves fall, like whispers from heaven. That day, Daniel promised something to himself: he would never ignore the small miracles life offered him again. He would carry Lily's mother's message, about smiling even when it hurts, and he would help others smile, too. And maybe that's the truth we all forget: sometimes, the smallest voices, the simplest invitations, can change everything. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe, because every story here is a reminder that kindness still exists, love still heals, and hope still finds a way.